Governor Sarah Palin from her home in Wasilla, Alaska. And one of the issues the governor campaigned hardest about is domestic oil drilling. So many people in the lower 48, for instance, don't want drilling, the ANWR drilling, and they've never been here. People in Alaska who are here want it.
Right. You know why people in Alaska want it? They know that not only with the job creation that will result and the benefit that will be derived from feeding very hungry markets here in Alaska and across the U.S. with a resource that is plentiful up here. But people up here want to allow that development because they know that we can do it safely and responsibly, because we care more about the land and the water and the wildlife and the air up here than anybody else. We live here. Our roots are here. Our kids are going to grow up in this state. You know, we're going to be here until the day that we die. It would be irresponsible of us to ever consider development that would adversely affect our environment or the wildlife or anything else. So we care more than anybody else, and we care to the extent that we have stringent oversight, probably the most stringent oversight in the world with our developments. And since my administration came into office now more than 2 years ago, we've even ramped that up, creating an office that just focuses on the petroleum developments in Alaska, making sure that that we are doing everything possible to prove to the rest of the U.S. that we can do this safely, we can do this responsibly, and then cleaning up corruption, politically speaking here with those in the legislature, many of the guys in prison now for, corrupt votes that were taken that had to do with oil taxes. Ethically, also, our commitment to developing resources. It has to be environmentally friendly, it has to be ethical. All those things that are coming into place at this time, we're in a perfect position to finally, again, start contributing more to the U.S., producing more, ramping up development, so we're less reliant on foreign sources of energy. And we should be leading, and there has been failed energy policy in our nation for 30 years. It's virtually been non-existent in energy policy that's comprehensive in the U.S., and Alaska is in a position to lead on that.
What about the environmentalists? I mean, is everyone just not talking? I think that's the problem, because the people who object to the drilling, are they just not talking to each other, or not going and looking? I mean, they seem to be, locking horns.
And enough of that, too. There's been closed-mindedness involved in this debate of whether the development should be allowed to take place in Alaska or not. And I don't want America to be in such a desperate situation in terms of national security and on the economic front also, that there's going to be this forced development up here that we have no choice. I want everybody to understand that it can be done safely, ethically. It's possible, and we're ready to prove that. I don't want it to take some catastrophe or some some foreign regime using energy as a weapon and cutting off supplies, perhaps Chavez, who has threatened to do this as we import sources of energy from him, or say Russia getting control over a couple of the pipelines that feed European markets. I don't want it to take that for people's eyes to be open to understand why we do all have to work together to see the domestic solutions tapped into, plugged in, and allow us to become more energy independent. Right now, we're still too far apart, environmentalists and the pro-development world. We need to get it together. And again, when we talk about development of Alaska's resources, when we have stringent oversight, we have the commitment, at least in my administration, that we're going to protect the environment as we develop. There needs to be that consideration that we're going to do it right. Do you think foreign supplies of energy that are being tapped into right now, do they care as much about the environment as we do? Do they care as much about worker safety as we do? I doubt that they do. In fact, there's proof that they do not to the degree that Americans and Alaskans want to see that safe, sound development, that responsible development that we're committed to.
Up next, okay, we've flown with the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, tailhooked down to an aircraft carrier, and catapulted off. So why not a snow machine ride with an Iron Dog champ? Yes, a ride on the snow machine with first dude Todd Palin. How fast? You're going to have to watch to find out.